Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer.
Yeah. Hit it. Drop that beat, yo. Oh. Well. You don't say. Really? Wow. Oh. Watch it. You're getting nasty with it. He's got some stank on his face, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me wipe that out.
Hello and welcome to Dudes and Beer. I am Chris Jordan, your host. On the human beatbox in the background, my brother Randy Jordan.
Yeah.
Older brother Randy, my beautiful wife Amy, host of the Yes But Why podcast on the HC Universal Network, has joined us yet again this evening.
Hello.
How you guys doing? Great, obviously.
Yeah, I'm good.
We got a few different beverages out on the table here. We got some Yingling that I just cracked. We got a little bit of Shock Top. We got this awesome rye whiskey.
Yeah, some rye.
So delicious on this
good.
nice, just beautifully chilled evening in Texas. It's so rare that we get this kind of weather.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's nice to be out in it. To talk about this, we're right up around the holidays, and
still rubbing it into the people in the north.
One of the things that
60 degrees
gets
let me grab a sweater.
That gets my goat all the time about the holidays is the barrage and the bonanza.
The bonanza. He uses that word a lot.
It's a good term. You know, I actually
use it with reference to gifts.
I stole it actually from Judge Marilyn Milian, who I have a crush on. I've had a crush on Marilyn Milian. She's the judge on the People's Court.
Oh,
the redheaded Cuban descent judge, very fiery, awesome.
Okay.
But what she says all the time is, "Sir, madam, you're making a mistake here. The court and the justice system is here to make you whole. It is not time for a bonanza." You don't get to add things in that you paid.
That's
like,
right.
We ate 18 sandwiches while we were preparing our papers for this. We need to be reimbursed for that.
That's a bonanza.
Yeah. You're not, it's not a bonanza.
That would
The holidays. Even the other day when we were sitting with Nikki, your lady, Randy,
Yeah.
She was talking about Christmas in the Netherlands and Christmas in Europe, and how over the last decade, 15 years, it's become very much the way that Christmas was or is here in America, where it's a bonanza. It's just everybody has to bring 10 gifts for a kid, and stuff like that. And what this episode is about tonight is big box stores in America, yes or no? Online purchasing in America, yes or no?
Black
the pros,
Friday.
the cons, Black Friday, the mobs that have happened since I was a kid, and it really started when we were kids. The three of us with the Cabbage Patch dolls, things like that.
Cabbage Patch is what kicked it out.
And that was really the first time that you saw grown-ups going into Toys R Us and beating the hell out of each other. Like literally, you can sit down on like, I guess it's Purple Saturday. I don't know what they call the day after Black Friday, other than like Sad Saturday maybe, because the sales are over.
It has a name.
Saturday.
Monday is Cyber Monday, where you buy stuff online.
Yeah, I don't.
But I think maybe it's Sleep In Saturday. No, there's a word for it.
Liquor it up Saturday.
I don't know. I was surprised to read in our little bit of prep here about just how prevalent the Black Friday stuff is overseas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a uniquely American thing.
It used to be.
How stupid it is to.
We spread our stupid everywhere.
Good.
We were
Far and
stupid,
wide.
and then we were like, guys, we're super cool. And everyone was like, are they cool? And they're like, they keep saying they're cool. And then they were like, they're cool. And now they do the stupid shit we do.
Right.
We do have good music.
God bless America.
Right?
God damn.
That's what we've been saying all day, where it's like, damn, this is America. I can do what I want.
America. It's what I wake up saying. I'm pretty sure I woke up in America today.
I'm gonna have to go get
I'm
my
gonna do what
sword
I'm gonna
right.
do what I please.
America.
But
America.
there is this horrible concept in America. We're a society of debt nowadays. I remember my grandfather, the namesake of my son, was somebody who, if he didn't have cash, he didn't need to buy it. I don't need to buy it if I don't have cash to buy it. Why would I need it?
Yeah.
Why do I need to borrow somebody else's money to go out and buy something? His truck paid for in cash. Like my grandmother, when she went in and bought her car after my grandfather passed, went in, how much is it, sir? Okay. Wrote a check. Literally. Amount due. Total of the vehicle sale. Here you go. Done.
Yeah.
Granted, they were of a
you can't
different
buy an
ilk
extended bed F-150 not crew cab. He didn't have a crew cab. He had extended cab F-150 long bed or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
that's like $40,000 now.
Yeah.
$45,000.
No,
now.
you couldn't walk in with a stack of cash like that.
No.
I've said myself, even the work that I have to have done personally, where it's like, hey, I'd like to walk in with $9,000 cash in an envelope and slide it across the table and go, now what can we finance?
Right.
What can we finance on the rest of it? Because here's $9,000 cash.
that.
That's $1,000 less than what you have to report to the IRS, doctor.
Oh my God. Don't record this and put this on the internet.
I don't care. I'm not doing anything illegal. This is America. I'm allowed to give somebody an envelope and $9,000. I'm allowed to give you a gift of $10,000 cash and write it off as a gift because you're my spouse. Those are the tax laws in America. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And that's
I don't know.
somewhat of what we're getting into here with big box stores, things like Amazon. Like right now, one of the things we were researching before this episode was the huge conflagration going on with Amazon right now. People are up in arms. There's a whole article that just came out of Seattle, the 10 reasons why not to use Amazon.
I don't know how recent that article was. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, they were saying as recent as 2007, so it's within the last 4 years at least.
That's 10 years.
Oh, no, I'm talking
no,
about the
that's not
article is
really
probably
article.
within the last 4 years. It was probably written in like 2011, 2012, something like that.
Oh, Amy's
So-
looking it up right now.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
find out
She's
shortly.
checking the
It's
publication.
2011. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the words that media uses.
Yeah.
You know, to put an indiscriminate amount of time on something,
Right,
but they're still referring to it fairly recently.
Oh, I just figured if we're being legit, we might as well.
Oh, no.
Say,
I'm all about
hey.
citing source.
Yeah.
That's half the reason why if you go to the Dudes and Beer podcast, dudesandbeer.com/news, you can find all the articles that we post up on the Dudes and Beer Facebook page. All of them that you get barraged by all the time, folks, on Facebook to help prod this conversation in America, to help kind of bring back the concept of the original America, where we sat around a table, we had drinks like we're having tonight, and we disagreed on topics. But the next week, we came back to the same table and we drank. It didn't affect our friendship. We still shared a property line on farms. When you needed hay, I gave you hay. When I needed water, you gave me water. You know? And we're at a point in America right now where these things are preventing that. They built a wall that people want to live behind. Even now, I would challenge most people to name every neighbor that they have on their street, like within 3 houses of each side of them. I remember just growing up in the apartments that we grew up in. We knew everybody in every building. We were latchkey kids. If something happened on the way home, we needed to be able to tell somebody. You know, so
Yep.
you knew your neighbor. You don't know your neighbor now. People are like, don't talk to them. They're strangers. No, they're your neighbor.
Yeah, I knew
They
my
share a
neighbors
fence
growing up.
line.
Well, I've only got 6 people on my street, so I know everyone except the Russians down there.
Yeah.
So
I knew everyone when I was growing up. I lived on a single dead-end street, but it was maybe 20, 30 houses.
Whereas now, all of a month or so ago, when it was still like 90 degrees out, stuff like that, and I was home, I went to put Dalbus to bed. I guess it was maybe more than a month ago because we still had chickens. It was before the raccoons came and killed our chickens.
Oh no.
But
Yeah.
no more chickens. But I had gone and put Dalbus in for a nap and came out, and the chickens were going crazy over something. And I looked, and they were chasing a 1.5 foot long coral snake in the backyard. And I was like, well, I definitely don't want my chickens going after that. So I went to go get a shovel to be able to scoop it up and put it in the linen bag and take it somewhere, relocate it. I'm not somebody that if a snake strikes at me, I'll kill it. Other than that, hey, fair ground, right. Especially a coral snake. They can't strike. So I chased this thing down. It took off underneath the fence line. Being a responsible person that I am, especially a parent, both of our neighbors have small children that are around all the time. The coral snake is the most pretty snake in North America. It looks like a string of candy. You want to pick it up and play with it. That's how most people die, is they pick it up and it bites them. They go, that was cute. That didn't even hurt. What are you even doing?
Right.
But the most toxic venom in North America is seeping into their system. And without treatment, 40 minutes later, you are dead. Straight up. And went and told the neighbors. Most of our neighbors are Hispanic, not native English speakers. So I actually typed in the description and translated in Google to Spanish, brought it out, made a graphic, put it on my phone, and showed it to them. This just left my backyard. Just so you know, if you see this, if you see your kids playing with this, no. This is highly dangerous. And it freaked them out, the fact that I was coming and warning them about something. And that's just a strange concept to me. My first reaction was go tell my neighbors. Go tell the people who share a fence line that this snake came underneath so that their children are safe.
What did they say or do that made you think that they were freaked out by you?
It was really more their reaction of okay, so why are you telling me this? Why would you bother to come over here and tell me that? That's fucking stupid. That mentality I didn't grasp. I was coming by to tell you that there is a danger to your children in the backyard right now. I may as well have been saying, look out, there's a dingo in the backyard. Don't let your kids play.
Oi.
The dingo ate your baby.
The dingo will eat your baby.
Dingo will eat your baby.
Straight up. It will drag your baby off by the face.
Right.
And have a baby snack at night. That's what dingoes do. So yeah, that's kind of where our society is at, is this arm's length, stay away.
Right.
And our consumer society especially.
That's what makes me worry about tonight and tomorrow. People are already trying to rip each other's throats out.
Oh yeah.
People are on edge. They're politically on edge. They're culturally on edge. There's a lot of stuff that people are getting real triggered by, right?
Yeah.
So when people go out to do this shopping thing that's already a volatile situation, I worry it's going to get real bad real fast.
I would highly agree. All of a week or so ago, I was explaining to you the math of stupid, as us sound engineers call it. Because when you're in a club and people are drinking, you have a unique perspective from that little booth back there. You get to kind of see this mass inebriation take place, where at the beginning of the night, everybody's just gotten off work, they're cool, they're chilling, band's warming up, they're getting ready, and about 2 hours later, they've had about 2 or 3 drinks, and things start to change. And then by the second set, they've had about 8 or 9 drinks, and things really start to change.
Yeah.
Somebody bumps into somebody bumps into someone's girl and spills a drink. It's gloves in the face. Straight up. It's dueling time is what it comes down to guys at that point. And even women. You
know me, I'm always looking for a fight.
That's
why I don't drink anymore.
It's really strange, though. And what I'm getting at is the math of stupid and the fact that people individually are smart. Same with any animal. All right? You get a lion by himself, he is like a stalker. Well, not a lion, a lioness, let's say, because the lions don't hunt for shit.
Right.
They sit around and wait to procreate and kill the other baby lions that aren't theirs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they do. And so you have the lioness, who by herself is an amazing stalker, but whenever you get them into a group, discombobulation can happen. Whenever you get one yak by himself, totally cool and calm, you get stack of yaks, and one of them gets
Is that what they
freaked.
call it?
No.
Stack of nut.
Stack of yaks.
Stack of yak.
You get a whole group of them together, a herd of yak, and one of them freaks out.
Don't back up.
Every single one of them freak out.
You call it a crew of gnu's?
You could.
It's a canoe.
You could.
What's a gnu with
What's a
you?
gnu? You don't know what a gnu is?
Not much. What's a gnu with you?
Oh, that's good.
But people are the same way. You get one person by themselves, totally different reaction. You get 10 people together, you can start talking panic.
Well,
real
it was like
quick.
we were talking
You have-
too,
you
where I
have
had that
panic
conversation with that psychologist
Mm.
who worked on group mentality and community, and he was saying that like groups of 7 or 8 are
Yeah.
ideal.
Yeah.
So like 7 or 8 is a group of people that can all communicate. Everyone stands their
Yep.
ground as an individual, and you're able to like have a collaborative situation. But any larger than that, and it becomes factions,
You
and
get-
there's a leader, and it's not. Sometimes it's at work it's
Oh, you
set
have
up.
to you have
If
to
not-
designate a leader with groups of 10 or more. Yeah.
right. And
I
then
see that
there's groups.
working with
You know what I
kids.
mean?
Yeah.
No more than 7 in a group.
Nope.
Seven's the max.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have smaller groups, he was saying, like groups like 2 or 3, there's too much pressure for
Yeah.
those people to accomplish all the things. It ends up crumbling because there aren't enough people to divide up the like good versus bad stuff that has to happen in
Yeah.
any interaction.
Yeah. No, five is ideal. 7 is the max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond that, you start getting into groups of 15, more than that, you really get into the group panic mentality.
Right. So millions of people in a city, that's real tough.
Yeah.
Or 300 people outside of a Walmart on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 1,000
50,
people
50.
or 1,000 people that have been sitting in line outside of a Best Buy since Tuesday
Yeah.
waiting for new release shit.
Looking for a reason to fight each other over that TV.
Yeah.
Whether it be race
Over-
or income or some specific personal thing they know about each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Political affiliation.
yep.
Yeah. The bumper sticker that I saw somebody drive in with, the T-shirt that they're wearing,
Yeah.
the hat they're wearing, what have you. I don't like the fact you don't fucking have hair since you're 19, dude.
Hey. Whoa.
How about that?
You
How
shop
about that?
at Best Buy with a MAGA hat, you're going to have trouble.
I've been betrayed by you since then.
Hmm.
Can't trust a man with no hair.
You see, and,
What you hiding?
and that's
I ain't hiding nothing. That's the thing.
yeah.
Mm.
Stick it in my fro or something? No.
Not anymore.
Oh.
You did have a sweet fro though.
Oh man, I had the.
You go 6'6", 6'8" with the fro.
That's right.
But
I can't imagine, like, because you are so tall that if you added hair, it would be intense.
Oh man, I tell you,
he had
tell you.
a beautiful head of hair.
Well, I mean, I've seen photos.
I've had.
He's still a damn good looking man. But
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
you know,
Maybe Randy should go over and
With
be a
a fro.
handsome man, calming the
man.
people, like,
Get you a
hey,
nice-
don't punch each
get
other.
you a nice Bob Ross going.
Man. Mm. Mm.
I actually have a Bob
Nice-
Ross wig. if
Nice
you
salt
need
and
it.
pepper Bob Ross.
Ooh, gross.
Hey,
I've got
everybody.
one in the house. I'll go get it right now.
Oh my God, do not.
Hello, friends.
Things are already going down a
I have
weird
my little
road.
chipmunk in my pocket today while we're painting.
We're talking
How y'all
about
doing?
people. We're talking about people beating the shit out of each other at Walmart tonight.
And that's the thing.
Tonight.
And
No,
it's,
the beating starts tomorrow.
it's
Or-
a mentality that I
They're in
don't
line
get.
now. What do
3
you think? Your
hours.
friends in line?
And the example that I gave you the other day was look at 90% of the time when any team wins. What happens? Like the people riot.
Not in Houston. They don't.
Why? No, not in Houston for some
Yeah, the
reason.
Astros won last year. What was it last year?
Yeah, we just had a
It was the
parade.
World
That's it.
Series.
I
and
remember.
everyone just walked down the street
And we gave
shook
away
hands with each other.
we
And-
gave away championship rings for 9 months
Yeah,
at every baseball game.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they just
And if you
shook
went to
hands. They're
Mattress
like,
Mac.
thank you,
Yeah.
you. Just handshakes everywhere.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. No, congratulations to you. Oh, to you too.
Wow, Houston is so civilized.
Right. Go to Boston.
I
No,
look forward-
yeah,
Go to Boston. and
no.
half
My
the
first
city
year-
burns.
My first year in Maine.
Dude, like one thing goes right in Boston and half the city burns. Are you kidding me?
My first year in Maine was the year that the Sox broke the curse of the Bambino.
Oh no.
When they won the World Series for like the first time in what was it, 80, 85 years, something like that. It was almost like a grip, almost 100 years that they'd gone without winning the friggin' pennant. And they won. And the next day you hear about this woman that got shot in the head with a friggin' rubber bullet by the police and died. Who was just walking in the background. She wasn't even part of the friggin' fray. She was just trying to get home from work.
You think you're better than me?
Yeah, exactly. That's the attitude in Massachusetts. You think you're better than me. But, like, I guess I don't grasp that mass mentality. I'm the dude that runs the opposite direction from the crowd, typically. Because my chances are probably better.
Yeah.
Than getting caught in the bottleneck of idiocy that's happening at that exit.
Yeah, no, I've never in my life had a desire for any of the Black Friday stuff.
Your ex was a big Black
Never.
Fridayer. She was a big time Black Friday shopper.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember her talking about it, but never actually doing it.
Oh no, she.
Without my participation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Sure.
I had no interest in doing that.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
I'm much more attuned to Cyber Monday for all my stuff. But it's weird because, you know, like one of the things Amy was talking about in that article that she was reading from 2011 was that Amazon changed prices depending on location.
I just posted it on the Dudes and Beer Facebook
And
group.
yeah,
by the way.
go to the Dudes and Beer Facebook group. You can see the article posted by Amy Jordan. And it's
Host of the Yes But Why podcast.
yes. HC Universal Network. HCUniversalNetwork.com. Hashtag shameless plugs. But the I forgot where I was going there. But just the mass mentality that it takes, that utter panic situation that comes into it.
You're talking about the article that I posted,
Yes,
something
about
that somebody had said with reference
changing
to
prices
There we
depending
go.
on location. And there are stores that do
I
that.
don't think that
If you-
meant changing prices depending upon location. I think it meant changing prices depending upon profile. So if it could
Sure.
tell based on what, say, Randy buys, that he's buying more higher priced items.
Yeah, they're gonna
like,
recommend
he has disposable income.
Yeah, they're gonna
so I'm
recommend
going
the
to
higher
offer
priced
you
version.
stuff that's higher.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, oh, you spend X amount, but you never spend
Oh,
over
I ain't
this.
got no problem with that.
Yeah, so my tickle
That's
meal
just
will be
focused marketing.
$25 and someone else's might be $19.99 or something like that.
Well, it's the fact that
But I could see a lot
It's-
of people not liking that.
it's the fact.
I don't like that.
Also, Chris orders a lot. It does not. Our Amazon receipts do not reflect how poor we are.
No, I buy so much on Amazon. It's not even funny.
Well, I'll buy a $200 piece of gear, and then I'll buy like $4 or $5 knockoff items from China, from like, you know, Shenzhen, China, something like that. So it's like, great. Here's an uber expensive product. Here's a $5 knockoff.
Right.
You know, like what?
Yeah.
How are you going to metric that? You know, other than offering me, and whenever I see my Facebook ads, things like that. That's what you have to remember is
their
that
AI's metric that.
big data is used for that exact reason. I'm trying to find a guest to come on to talk about the algorithms behind that, the AI behind the algorithms of advertisement like that, because there is a creepy side to it, but most of that creepy side of that is fairly well wiped out now. A few years back, I remember working an event about deep learning at the University of Texas. This was probably close to 2011. Something like that. And there at the conference was somebody from Amazon, and also the person from IBM who helped design Deep Blue and Watson.
Cool.
The two computers, Deep Blue being the first computer to ever beat a chess champion on even playing field, and Watson being the computer that was just as good as a human at Jeopardy.
Right.
Oh.
And
Didn't Deep Blue beat Kasparov? Russian
Russian
world
champion.
Oh,
chess champion. Yeah.
well, computers.
Yeah, and who was pretty much undefeated other than Bobby Fischer. But the technology he was talking about and the case that he was talking about was a case many years ago when online purchasing was really first getting its real grip, like up around 2007, something like that, where it was prolific now. It wasn't just like, I remember we were joking earlier today, Randy, about, you remember when people thought fucking Bezos was an idiot?
Yeah.
When people were like, there is no way you're ever going to take down the big bookstore. Wait, you think you're ever going to get rid of Bookstop? Are you stupid?
You think you're Barnes and Noble or something?
Yeah, because it all started with online book sales. That's where it was basically almost like the Columbia House for books, just about.
Yeah.
And now it became everything under the sun. And this case that they were talking about was a 16-year-old girl whose friend had graduated high school the year before, was 19, got pregnant, and was having a baby shower. The 16-year-old went in, registered at Babies R Us, went to her registry. She registered so she could get like the 10% off your first purchase, whatever.
Yeah.
Went to her friend's registry, bought something. Next thing that happens, the 16-year-old girl starts getting mailers. Congratulations on your new baby from Babies R Us. Disowned by her family, kicked out of her home, had to leave school.
Wow.
Totally ruined the 16-year-old girl's life.
Huh.
And that's what the creator of Deep Blue was saying, was this AI, this big data is great, amazing stuff. We can do fantastic things with it. But look at how creepily it can become, look at how creepy it can become so rapidly. Look at the implications that can happen so rapidly to somebody just by receiving a mailing.
And that was back in the day. That's
Just by
not
getting them
now
something in the mail.
People are like cutting people out of their lives for, ridiculous shit now.
Yeah. That's something that, good God, countries all over the world deal with illegitimate children, with, young ladies getting pregnant, things like that. But the issue of big data when it comes to that is, of course, the issue of privacy. And most companies nowadays, like I was saying earlier before the show, Amy, of course, they work off lists. Good God, just yesterday I had to text somebody else my screenshot but my text document that I have on my phone for copy and paste for political campaigns, because I'm tired of it. I don't want your baiting, your clickbait text message coming to me for your political party. I don't care what political party it is.
Yeah, I got a couple recently too.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm not Connor. I wasn't Connor last time you texted me and I sent you this and told you please cease and desist from texting me. You've purchased my information from a list. It's publicly available. I own businesses in the state of Texas.
Well, also you're registered to vote. That was generally where they got that information.
Little tip, if you go out and start a business, you will be on a public registry. Get ready to start receiving emails. Get ready to start receiving random pins in the mail with things like come buy pins with your name on them. Get ready to start getting phone calls for sales stuff.
Right.
The state physically sells your address. They sell your information. That is one way that they make money.
Public data.
And you remember, Amy, whenever we moved from the apartment into the house that we're renting, you came home with change of address forms, and I took them and I was like, awesome, thank you. And I just tore them in half and threw them in the trash. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, we will tell every one of our debtors where we're moving. But when you do the change of address form, the post office sells your address.
All the junk mail goes to your new address.
That's why suddenly when you show up, there's already junk mail in your mailbox with your name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't forward you mail, you can lose like personal letters and stuff, which I ended up doing because you have some political thing against the USPS. Now that our name is on this registry, can you let me fill out a change of address form?
You haven't lost any mail.
Nothing important.
Nothing important. Anybody in your family that sent you something,
Screw you.
let them know where you live.
You're telling me what's important.
All those gift cards.
You don't
forget
care.
about it.
Yeah,
Forget
I
about it.
care. I understand. I am utterly hearing what you're saying.
All those letters.
but-
from
At the
your
end of the day, I'm
friends
just going to do what I
overseas
want.
or
And you
whatever.
can take your ripped USPS and shove it up your.
Do it. I'll shove it right up there.
Why?
But
Ooh.
the issue with big box, the issue with online purchase, things like
Still got to
that.
bring it back.
Bring it back around. Bring it back around. Yeah, let's not talk about shoving stuff in his
The
wallet.
issue with that, and with security on them, is that you have to be careful with what you give them. You have to make sure that who you're purchasing from is an authorized purchaser. Even whenever you're going on Amazon, you should really go through and read reviews, look at the star ratings, check that stuff out. Most
I'm
of
gonna
that
tell
stuff's there on
everyone right
feedback.
now, all you listeners right now who may not realize it, don't click on ads and stuff on Facebook.
Nope.
That's bad news.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Plenty of secondhand experience with that. Not myself, of course, but other people. Just don't click on Facebook ads.
You can click on Facebook ads that I make.
Don't
for
click
my
on Facebook
show.
ads.
Yeah, don't.
Even Amy's. Don't click on Facebook.
ads
Buy
for selling
tickets
stuff.
For my show on November 30th. I have an
Yes,
ad
yes.
running right now.
No,
Click
no,
on
no.
that one.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stuff that shows up in your feed, like
Oh yeah, like
oh,
jackets or shoes
right,
or whatever
yes,
thing that you
yes,
like.
all
Yeah,
that stuff's bad.
I know it kills me. Ugh.
Some of that stuff's maybe a minuscule amount of it is legit. The rest of it is not legit. Go buy your stuff from Amazon. Go directly to Amazon.
And the thing about Amazon, let me just say one thing about that, because I thought this is what you were going to say, because you're
Go
talking about like
directly to
you can
Amazon.
research who you're buying stuff from.
Yeah.
Amazon is not
Don't buy-
entirely making all the things. There are some
No.
things in the warehouse that are Amazon manufactured.
It will say
But a
shipped and
significant
sold and shipped
portion-
by Amazon.
But a significant portion of what Amazon is selling are other businesses' wares.
Yes.
Right? So
Right.
it's not necessarily an Etsy. Not all of them are, say, making the thing, but everybody's got a business, right? So say some guy goes and repairs, old tape recorders and then sells them on Amazon. That's a guy who's trying to make some money. So if you hate the fact that Amazon is selling in a larger and getting rid of smaller businesses, seek out the side sellers. Seek out
here's the thing.
the highly rated side sellers.
Here's my
And then
thing.
you get to give to individuals if that's what you want.
If I've
Go
got
ahead.
a third party that I'm buying from on Amazon, if I've got anything to bitch about, I bitch at Amazon.
Yeah.
And Amazon makes it right.
Yeah.
Yep. I had
And-
it
That's
once.
because that's their business.
Right.
They're the go-between.
Right. And so I've got no gripe with Amazon at all. I know a lot of people that do. A lot of people that do probably have the same gripe with people buying stuff from Walmart. And I guess you buy your stuff from wherever you want to buy it from. But I buy my stuff from Amazon because I know if I've got a problem, I call Amazon
it's done.
and they'll make it right.
My prime example.
And third-party sellers who don't make it right through Amazon don't stay on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
That has happened to us
I've had
specifically.
2 different vendors that I have reported be removed from Amazon.
Yeah.
2. One of them, I bought the tablet that we took on our honeymoon. You remember? You were like, "Yeah, okay, you can get a tablet." And I bought a tablet.
All the things I ever say, yeah, go ahead, buy it.
I went out. Well, I mean, it was a decent expenditure. It was a couple $100.
It's fine.
I bought my Samsung tablet. Got it. It had an issue where the headphone jack quit working. I called up the company that I bought it from. They're like, "We're sorry. We don't warranty refurbished gear. We don't warranty refurbished items." I'm like, "Refurbished? I didn't buy anything refurbished." And I immediately went to my Amazon receipt and took a screenshot of it and took a screenshot of the active ad with like a clock and time stamp up in the corner with my clock on Windows. And I sent it to Amazon. And I was like, "Look, they're telling me that they don't warranty refurbished items. I didn't buy a refurbished item. This was listed as new. It was sold to me as new on my receipt. And they were like, you know what? You're absolutely correct. They sent me the exact same tablet for absolutely no money. Absolutely no money, brand new, one that was like $50, $60 more because it was sold by Amazon instead of a third-party seller. And then they removed that seller.
That's only right.
And what's interesting is you were saying they don't, if you want to support the small person, find out who they are, go support them. They're still getting their money from Amazon. But as opposed to the other big box stores, Lowe's, your Lowe's, your Target, Walmart, Costco's,
that's really the big box.
That's a big one,
that kind of stuff. They don't support third-party sellers. They don't support individuals putting items out, that kind of stuff. Whereas there is a huge movement of people who have become self-employed through Amazon, who have become Amazon sellers that go out to places like Big Lots and buy like a case of Prel shampoo and for like $10 for the whole case of 24 bottles. And then they go onto Amazon and sell them for $2 each, which is still $1.50 less than you'll buy it at the store.
They call that arbitrage.
Yeah. And there is a huge movement of people that have become fully self-employed doing this. Huge
ecosystem, even of independent artists, if you want to call them that.
Sure.
Whether it's music, whether it's ebooks,
PDFs,
t-shirt designers, and all of that that have set up Amazon marketplaces to sell their stuff. And not only do they create their own designs, but they sell them through independent fulfillment companies that do all of that, all through the Amazon marketplace. And it's become a pretty cool ecosystem for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
it really has fostered that
in
a lot of ways.
Not just stuff sold by Amazon, but they're giving from a lot of things that I listen to.
They're giving a storefront to people.
Yeah, they're giving a storefront to people, right. And
okay, but let's take a sidestep here to say we've been talking about all the reasons why we like Amazon. But what about all the reports that there's bad stuff in the warehouses, that they're not taking care of people, that people are in dangerous situations that they shouldn't be, things like that, extra hours.
Those reports are out of the UK, and I really don't care about people in the UK.
No, it's not just out of the UK. There's reports of that in various warehouses. There were even reports of that in the warehouse in Austin.
There are.
Yeah,
much like any store that you go into, that is normally a manager that is going above the means of corporate protocol.
I can see that.
It's not like a company position to do that. You know what I mean? It's one of those like the store manager's like, no, seriously, you have to work your 50th hour this week. And I'm sorry, but you can't have a break before you do.
Yeah, but somebody in payroll has to notice that ADP is going to be like, hey, what's going on? Like,
sure.
That's not something that's going to go under the rug. Everybody has to know everybody's working 50 hours a week if that's what's happening. Right? They decide how much people get paid. They decide how much, protection they have in the warehouse.
Sure.
You made a good point earlier when we were talking, the idea that it's like, sure, they give out weight belts, but who uses them?
Yeah, I can.
And I'll give you that there is safety equipment that some people will just not take advantage of.
Yeah, I guarantee you somewhere in that warehouse is a closet or a rack as you come out of the employee clock-in area where there's like gloves hanging there if you need them, where there's like back braces if you're lifting over 40 pounds all day. And you're not on the assembly line, sealing boxes or something like that. Like, guaranteed those safety measures are in place and available to you.
Well, you don't know.
I mean, as someone who was injured on the job a couple times by people in, like, hotels and country clubs where those things were utterly not made available to me. Most of the time when you're working in a warehouse, like, That stuff's there.
I mean, I'll give you that. Every warehouse I've ever worked in has been very efficiently run just because of the nature of it being a warehouse.
Well, you get a little bit more OSHA inspection at a warehouse than you do, say, like in the housekeeping area at a Shoney's Inn.
Well, also, if you have a guy who has to drive a big... it's like a big lift to carry the humongous boxes that they have, right? Everyone has to be so careful because that guy is always going by all of a sudden. Like, you got to pay attention to that guy because
if he's watching
boxes from this place to that place.
If he's watching. And granted, most of that, believe it or not, in most Amazon warehouses is automated. Most of that end, boxes coming off shelves, all that kind of stuff. Most of that in probably a good 70% of their warehouses is fully automated.
The one thing that kind of is weird to me, though, because we do get a lot of packages delivered, is that the people that deliver our packages deliver them in unmarked white vans. Yes. And I've legitimately spoken to the driver that comes. Well, there are 2 or 3 different ones, but there's this one guy, and we got in this conversation, and I was like, why does your van not have a marking? Like, why is there not a logo on it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. This is just the one they gave me. Yeah. Sometimes they give me one. And it's like, it's fucking Amazon. They don't have cash to buy a couple vans, and throw the logo up on it. Like, I don't see how that wouldn't be helpful.
Here's the thing. Most of the time, whenever you're getting something delivered with the AMZL on it, Amazon Logistics is what that stands for. That is being delivered by the equivalent of like a local favor. Amazon delivery in and of itself is a contracted service. They use contractors to fulfill those needs.
I had
really?
It's funny you mentioned that because literally just this week,
they will.
I had a lady roll up here about 7:30 at night.
We get some late ones.
Honk her horn.
Yeah.
And I went outside, and it was just some
8 p.m. latest delivery
lady in street clothes in her car.
Yeah.
Pull up is like, I'm making this Amazon delivery for you. I was like,
that's what they do.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
She was like, hey, are you so and so?
That was a Prime delivery, wasn't it?
Must maybe.
Yep.
I'm sure it was.
No, Prime deliveries especially come that way.
But I get
with a lady in a car? Get the hell out of here.
No, for real.
I need a van.
It comes to
matter
why
who
you don't
it
need a van to deliver your food whenever you order favor. What's the difference? Whenever you're ordering from Amazon Prime, typically that is coming
Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Typically, whenever you're ordering from Amazon Prime, that is not coming from the local Amazon warehouse. Those items are fulfilled by local Amazon sellers. So people who are local vendors that have stores on Amazon that sell things across the country.
These are just people who contract out their services and their time.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'm all cool with that.
Yeah.
That's Uber Eats, DoorDash.
Yeah.
If Amazon's adopting that, even stuff like Instacart. Sometimes I get my groceries delivered by Instacart. These are it's just like Uber and Lyft and any of these other things that allow independent people to do their own thing to make deliveries or whatever. I'm all cool with that as long as those companies are giving people, a just compensation for their time and mileage and all that.
The new program is also separate from Amazon Flex, which pays individuals $18 to $25 an hour to deliver packages from their own vehicle.
Yeah. Must have been what this. Must have been what this lady was doing the other night because
this comes from an article
rolled up in some car.
This comes from an article in New York Times that I posted on the Dudes and Beer group probably about a month or so ago, where it was talking about Amazon is offering $10,000 reimbursements for qualified candidates to start their own businesses delivering for Amazon.
Yeah.
So they will actively pay you $10,000 to go out and buy vehicles and deliver for Amazon.
Which is much cheaper than buying an actual van and insuring quote unquote employees.
Yeah.
So much cheaper to hire independent contractors to do that. Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Fine. You've convinced me.
There you go.
Can we sidestep again?
Yeah.
I wanted to get off the specific store situation or
Yeah.
the political arguments for and against this kind of situation and get back to the bonanza.
The bonanza.
Get back to
Yeah.
the
Like a
experience
The mentality.
of the bonanza.
The mentality, yeah.
The
That leads
getting
to this.
Why, like, we're talking about Amazon deliveries we've gotten throughout the year, not Christmas, throughout the year, of
Sure.
things that we use and
Yeah.
have and give during the year, right? But that is not the upcoming
No,
bonanza.
the Black Friday bonanza.
Yeah.
Well, and the subsequent,
Yeah.
month of bonanza.
Yeah, and it's a little out of pocket nowadays. It's a little out of control, I think. For me, it's really the case of what do you need, what do you want.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the two.
I just read a headline. I didn't read the whole article, but just read a headline that 28% of Americans are still in debt from last year's Christmas.
Absolutely.
You know?
Excuse me.
We both know people that finance Christmas on credit cards. We financed Christmas on a credit card last year, and it took us 6 months to pay it off.
I mean, it's nuts.
I mean,
Thank
but it's
you.
what had to be
I
done.
love my presents. Thank you for the
It's what had
finance
to be.
charges.
It's what had to be done.
I
In
appreciate
order
You're
for us
not
to have.
financing it this
Yeah,
year.
but
if it
see,
makes
that's
you
the
feel
thing.
better.
You said that's what has
It
to be
doesn't
done.
have to be done.
You said that's what had to be done, but
We could have
You
sat
know-
around. We could have made batches of fudge brownies for
I
everybody.
love fudge brownies.
We could have done 1,001 things.
I'd love it if you gave me fudge brownies for Christmas. No, I
Noted.
wouldn't, but that's okay.
Noted.
Well,
What?
and even
Just give
years
me a
ago though, like when I
six-pack of beer,
when
I'd
I
be
started
fine.
when I started doing my studio stuff and started building my studio and things, people, oh, what do you want for Christmas? Get me a Guitar Center gift card. I'm not going to get you something for your studio. Let me get you something that you want. You don't get it. My studio is what I want.
Guys, it's what he wants.
It's not even what I want. It's what I need to do my business.
It's what he
so
wants.
when you're talking about like you're going to get somebody something that they need for Christmas, if what they need is equipment to start their business, help them get equipment to start their business.
Can I just say that while I love receiving gifts, I am embarrassed by receiving gifts.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just thought about it. I thought about how whenever people ask me, what do you want? I'm like, nothing.
You do have an
it's fine.
incredibly enlarged sense of shame, but
Well, sure, I mean, I'm Boston Catholic. It's like a special breed.
yeah.
And best thing about it, I was never touched. So I'm super guilty. I'm so guilty. I'm like the most guilty.
Hey.
I'm the most. Because I'm like, oh, everybody else had this horrible
'Cause you
time.
weren't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was not. I feel bad for them. And I'm like an asshole. I'm like, oh. But that's how I feel about gifts. So it's like I feel like it's ridiculous. Why don't give me a gift? I don't need a gift. I need nothing. I don't need things, right? I
Yeah.
love things. Everything I get, I like, I use, I cherish, I look at. Not gonna lie. When I get home from the Christmas bonanza in a few weeks here, I will lay everything out on the bed and gaze upon it before I put it all away and or use it.
Right.
But first, I will gaze upon it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and this is sort of a sidestep from my shame, I feel like we all want to be little pirates getting treasure chests.
Oh yeah, no.
I lay my booty out and I look at all the stuff I got and I'm like, oh yeah.
It's interesting because one of the topics that I've spoken about before with a couple of our technology specialists, people like Billy Joe Kane from Radical Empathy Education Foundation .org. Reef Cares, everybody. # Reef Cares. But is the fact of
whoa.
That was loud.
That was not a firework.
Please don't shoot guns at us.
Careful for falling objects, everybody. Remember, what goes up goes down.
I'm just saying, if I get murdered during the podcast, I need you to post this.
We'll go live immediately, I swear.
I'm going to go inside real quick. Hey!
It's one of those kind of parties.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the country.
4 gunshots and some screams. That really doesn't bode well.
Oh, it's probably just some
Getting
black
carried
cats.
away. The music's going. And everybody's having fun. Not a problem. We're over here. We're having fun. The one
Anyway.
thing that we've talked about with people like Billy Joe Kane and our other guests is the corporate sensationalism that we grew up with. We grew up in the full-on consumer age of television. Late 70s, early 80s, where every commercial during the day, every commercial break had some kind of toy commercial. Still do. Every commercial break had some kind of sugary cereal commercial. Still do. The difference is people like yourself and myself, Amy, people like Randy here, who have cut the cable, who do not watch terrestrial programming anymore.
Oh.
What will little Dalbus be like in a decade? Will he be sure? But most of the commercials that we see are focused toward us because we watch
He's gonna want
we
a
watch
lot of
Hulu.
phones. It's always phone.
We watch
commercials.
Hulu. We watch things like that. So what we see is geared toward us, the
Yeah.
people who can pay for Hulu. So we're seeing car commercials. We're seeing like,
Yeah.
hey, look at
wants
this.
cars
Here's a
and
nice
phones.
here's a nice Kindle Jackson. You know, that kind of stuff.
It's true.
They aren't seeing toy commercials. They aren't seeing sugary cereal commercials on that kind of stuff. So when that cable is cut, when these kids are growing up without that standard television every 15 minutes barrage of 3 minutes of commercials, how's that going to change the consumer mentality?
Well-
How's that going to change the want, need of society and the immediate rush of dopamine that we get when we hit buy now?
There's still ads on the internet.
Yeah,
There's
I was
still
gonna
ads
say
on the
it's gonna-
internet.
It's worse today.
You don't
because
you don't
kids-
see toy ads all over the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. It's
You don't post a single parental thing, so you don't get any.
I guess
but
not.
I get all of them, and I'm sure Randy gets stuff geared towards gifts he would get for his kids.
I watch how the kids use their phones and
Yeah.
social media, and everything has an ad. Every app you
Yeah.
buy, or
Mhm.
or even especially apps that are free,
Yeah.
are laced with ads. I mean, there's ads everywhere. So I think that market has assimilated the fact that people aren't watching network broadcast television where everything's paid for by an ad every 15 minutes. You
Well,
get-
and
you
where
get
the
an ad every
programming
2
where the
minutes.
programming is
You know.
even driven by the ads.
You know,
So-
you scroll through your Facebook feed, and every 5 posts is a freaking ad.
So much so
You know,
is the programming dictated by the commercials.
no,
The-
programming's dictated now by your own habits on your smart devices.
Oh, sure. The internet programming, everything else.
yeah,
I'm talking about terrestrial programming, regular broadcast television. It is so much is it part of the programming that when you actually go in and see the broadcast clock, the program slice is bigger or smaller than the middle slice because the program is actually the commercials. Not only that, but now I want to say it's Days of Our Lives that is doing it. But one of the
ads
longest
inside
one
of
of
the
the
soap opera?
longest running shows on television is now doing ads within the show.
Oh, it's so funny.
Within the show. And one of the first ones I saw, the women were preparing for this big, what's the name of the town? Like
Salem.
Salem, yeah.
That's the name.
They were preparing for a huge city awards ceremony and stuff, and they were getting the swag bags together.
Oh,
Because you've been to conventions, man. It's all about the swag bag. That's half the reason you pay the money to get in is a swag bag full of cool stuff.
Right.
And they're putting it in, and one of them goes, "Oh, what's this? Oh, you haven't seen that?" And literally, she picks it up and the
Not
camera.
so fresh feeling.
No, the camera comes to her and she goes, "Really? You haven't seen this?" And holds it up next to her face, just like a show model on The Price is Right, picks it up and holds it and turns it towards camera, puts her hand underneath it and starts talking about the new oil of Aloe Kareem. And, oh, you haven't tried this? It's absolutely amazing. It's one of the best concealers you can get. Do you see any wrinkles on my face? And it's like, are you shitting me right now?
Yeah.
You just busted in a commercial without going to commercial. What kind of premium did you charge for that?
Right.
What kind of brilliant writing does it take to squeeze in a commercial in the middle of a show?
That just shows the desperation of advertisers.
And it goes straight up to Paul Verhoeven in fucking RoboCop. I'll buy that for $1.
Right.
Nothing but advertisement in the middle of your show. And it's wild to me that kind of stuff is happening now. It's full on happening. You see, about it in movies all the time. Even back in the day. If you watch the extra bits and pieces about Back to the Future, it talks about how they were hard up on money. They were looking to get the last bit of money for the funding. The California Raisins commercials had just launched. They went to California Raisins. They got the last bit of money. What did California Raisins get? They got the epic shot of Brett sleeping on the park bench with a California Raisins ad on it when the time machine comes through back to 1985. That's what they got for their money. And that was the final bit of money and funding that they needed to make the movie. So product placement happens in your movies all the time.
Yeah.
Wayne and Garth joked about it.
Right. No, they did.
I'm not going to be a shill.
Right.
As he leans back in his Adidas.
Right.
See, I'm ready to be a shill. I'm willing. I would love.
Oh, yeah.
I have no
I'd
problem
never
with
do
being
that.
a shill.
No, I'd never do that.
No, but from our point of view, we want advertisement on our podcast.
Sure, but granted, it's also one of those that on my podcast, I'm not going to say I wouldn't sell Squatty Potty. I'd sell Squatty Potty, but you know what I need first? I need a Squatty Potty in a couple months to use it.
Couple months.
I got to be able to test out the Squatty Potty. I am very much like Art Bell in that, right?
Decent check.
Yeah. Big enough check where I can say that I used a Squatty Potty.
I don't give a shit if you used it or not. You just have to say
the difference is I care if I've used it. My listeners,
they send you the stuff.
My
That's
listeners, I
case.
know, but there are some people, many famous podcasters, who I guarantee you they don't use Stamps.com, they don't use Dollar Shave Club. Like I was saying earlier today over dinner, one of my favorites is to listen to Bill Burr with his ads.
I use Dollar Shave Club.
He's shameless.
My smooth shave.
I have. I've noticed it all over your face and head.
No razor burn. No razor bumps.
He literally just goes through his ads like, okay, hey, it's time for an ad. I hate this shit. So here we go.
I'm sure they
you like panties, go to panties.com.
He's his he's the that's
Bill Burr. That's Bill Burr.
You know what I mean? He can be all like, oh, I don't know.
Or is it the case of as long as your drop is in there in the time frame that you tell them it's going to be, we're going to do a drop on air in the first 5 minutes, that they'll write your check?
Well, it depends on the company.
Doesn't really matter.
Some of
like
the
you were
companies
saying,
give you information and say it's got to be this time, it's got to be this way, you got to say these words, and some don't. Some say, hey, if you could just make sure at some point you talk about it and you give these bullet points.
Yeah. And, when it comes to consumerism, when it comes to these issues, when it comes to how we see material possession in our world, what we deem important, what we, as I was saying earlier, deem as a need or a want. And that's something that I always tried to instill in the kids that I taught in junior high and high school, is learn to understand the difference between a need and a want. A need is something that, like, you without it, you'll go hungry, you'll not have a roof, your business will fail. Those are needs. Like, food is a need, water is a need, air is a need, sleep is a need. You need that. Do you need a new iPhone. Like, if it's your business and your iPhone is locking up all the time and you can't make an email, yeah, you need a new iPhone. If you're a 20-something and your iPhone works perfectly fine and the new $1,000 device comes out, do you absolutely need a new iPhone? Is it a need or is it a want? And I think that's where we, a society of immediacy, a society of instant gratification in America, which we've absolutely become.
Mm-hmm. We can get anything right now,
anytime, right now.
Yeah.
And
it is crazy how much we can do.
And I was even telling you on the way in today
Even out here in the boonies.
how a lot of companies like HEB, things like that, Walmart, are really starting to go back to the old model of retail, going back to the old model of grocers, going back to the old model of pharmacists. HEB now, whenever I get a call about my meds being refilled, they tell me if I need to have my medications delivered, push this number. Because they understand that quite a few of their people are elderly folk. They may be wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
What happens if they need their medications today because they run out tomorrow? You know? And they don't have a van to get there.
Yeah.
You know? Back in the day when our grandparents were kids, you had a milkman that came and did, like, you knew your milkman.
Yeah.
He came and delivered your milk. You had an account at the pharmacy. And you just went and got things at the pharmacy, and at the end of the month, you settled your account. That's what you did. Sometimes the delivery boy would come, and here's your box from the pharmacy. Here's your box from the green grocer or the butcher, and it was delivered to your door. And these big box stores are starting to realize, even Amazon recently put out a press release saying that they are bringing the catalog back. And I love it.
Yeah, I got a catalog actually a couple of weeks ago from Amazon.
Yeah.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Awesome.
I threw it away.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, I recycled it.
Next time, save it and give it to Chris. He loves that.
I love a catalog. I love one.
Looking at a
I
catalog
love
on
one.
the toilet.
I think a catalog for what's real. I don't know. This is just me. For what's
It is just you.
What's an online business?
Chris is
I go on Amazon. I go on my app. I look up what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And
Great grandma.
What about her?
The boy's great grandma.
Yeah.
Great grandma. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas?
God bless her. She's no longer with us.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
But let's say, where's she? She was in her 80s.
Yes.
Smooth. Probably not the most whip snap on the internet, let's just say. But the boys want something from Amazon. What she does know how to do
is go to the
pick
grocery
up a
store and get an Amazon gift card.
Or pick up a catalog. Like they used to from WB Mason.
You still got to go online and buy the shit. What difference
No,
does it
you
make?
don't.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah, you do. Can't call.
I guarantee you if there is a catalog, there is a means by which to physically order some shit.
All right, listen.
There is an order number, a product number that you can put there on a piece of paper.
We don't need to go down the rabbit hole
Amazon.
of this
I'm just saying that the whole reason they did it is because there's a generation of people that do not know how to use the internet that they can get money from by returning to this original form of commerce that existed for decades.
That generation of people who do not know how to use the internet is not very far away from not being here anymore.
Hell, brother, mom can barely use fucking Amazon right.
Whoa. That's true.
And she was a teacher. All right.
No, I get what you're saying. You know, that whole...
So, in a pure capitalistic sense, I utterly see why they're putting a catalog out. Plus, there's people like me.
More attention to it, maybe.
Not just that, but especially think about.
Give us the catalog.
Especially
catalog that comes in the mail. I throw that shit away because I don't need a catalog.
Especially
I
think
go on
about
Amazon,
people.
I know what I want. I search for it and I look through the options.
Especially people with young children, 5 years old, that you're trying to keep away from the blue screen. That you're trying to keep away from the computer as much as possible. I would love for you to know what's readily available on Amazon for me to purchase, son. Don't tell me that it wasn't fun when we were kids to go through and dog-ear the Sears catalog, bro.
It was, because that's all we had.
I know.
every kid today is connected,
Yeah,
and that's a good thing.
but do you need them to be? Do you
Yes.
need them to be
Yes.
connected to the
Yes.
internet? Do you need your 5-year-old cruising
Dude.
Amazon for shit?
Frick, man,
Well, not
resistance
exactly.
is futile.
No, it is not.
Resistance
No, it is
is
not.
futile.
If Star Trek
Dude,
taught
you're
us anything, the
ridiculous.
board can be
Don't
fought.
pretend. Okay, everyone listening to this, he's a liar. He's the kind of person who says, I don't want my son to play with the computer, and then gives him multiple computers, puts him in front of the actual computer. We watch all sorts of television.
I didn't
He
say I
doesn't
didn't
know.
want my son to know how to use a computer, know how to program website, anything
Dude,
like
come
that.
on. You're kidding yourself.
No, I am not. There's a difference
Dude,
between.
don't be that old man.
That's why I have made a distinct differentiation when I tell my 1.5-year-old son, when I give him something, either this is a toy or this is a tool.
Here you go, boy. Look through the Woolworth catalog and tell
This
me
is
what
a-
you want.
This is a toy or this is a tool. This you can play with, you can beat up. That is a precision piece of equipment. You can use
Whatever.
it, but you can't
He's
beat
on his
things
high
with it.
horse, so he's going to be all, this is what I'm going to do. But his real life is
It's
the
my
opposite.
plan.
The real
It's my
life
plan.
is
It's my intent.
The real life is every kid today is connected. Every kid in the future is going to be
Absolutely.
connected, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I'm not
It's
denying
all
all.
going back to
We don't
genes
have
out of
to
the
have-
bottle.
I'm not saying that is not the case.
We
What
don't
I'm saying
have to
is
have
that you can.
people buying stuff on Amazon. The 5-year-old
don't.
does not need to buy stuff on Amazon.
No.
I'm not going to allow him to purchase things without my say-so
course.
from the internet. Of course not.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the internet is there as both a resource, an entertainment thing,
Sure.
and also a place where you can purchase stuff, and you have to be there, and he has to know how to do it. And it would be remiss of you as a parent to keep him from it when the world is clearly all that right now. If in the future we go totally dark and we have to relearn all the stuff, you'll teach him that stuff too.
Sure.
But
I'm
Right
technically
now, we
teaching
live
him
in a
that stuff before the
technological
computer
world.
stuff. Because
Oh my
it's
God.
useless. Well, no, mainly because it's useless to teach it once
wrap
it happens.
this episode up.
It's useless to teach that information once the instance
I'm
happens.
just getting going.
Ugh.
But you do have to wonder exactly why we put kids in front of computers so much.
Because it's the world.
It isn't.
It fucking is.
If it was, then teachers wouldn't be up in arms right now trying to get tablets out of school.
Because in school, that's like work. You can't stare at your phone all day when you're at work.
People
you
do.
can't, You can't stare at phone. They do when they get fired because they have to work. Because you're right. There's a difference between a toy and a tool. And your tool time is when you have to go to your job or to school for 8 hours a
Yes.
day, and then you come home and you play. But I'm not keeping internet away from my child, and neither are you.
No, I'm not
and
keeping
good
the
luck.
internet. I never said I was going to keep the internet away from my child. That is not what I said.
You said you weren't going
Never
to let
once.
him use technology. and
No,
that
it
the
is
internet.
not what I said. Please do not put words into my mouth on my own show, because that's not what I said. What I said
God
is
it's being
I'm really
recorded.
not going to let my 5-year-old cruise Amazon, is what I said. Specifically, that I wasn't going to let him use things for that purpose. And you can lock that shit down. You can make it happen. And I happen to think that the catalog from Amazon is a great way for parents to be able to get their kids what they need, what their kids are looking for, without their kids having to go to Amazon
Yeah, well, it's no difference than getting the Toys R Us catalog
and
or,
utterly messing
you know.
up your parents' algorithm as far as what they're searching for.
you know. No, I mean, that's. Here's my thing with the whole Amazon catalog stuff. It's just been my experience with shopping on Amazon. When you're looking for something at that moment, you've got a finite chance of it being in there.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you pull up the thing you're looking for and it's like only 10 items left,
Yep.
you know, or this
Yeah.
item, you know.
We're not available until.
Right. And I guess the whole online shopping experience is so transient, and it's not
Well,
I don't know. My experience has been it's not like shopping at a brick and mortar Walmart or Toys R Us where, oh yeah, we'll get our shipment in next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Where whatever inventory you're looking for at that moment, if they don't have it, they'll have it next week.
Or you can go to another Walmart.
Right. I mean, there's not a guarantee that it's going to be available again next week or whatever by whatever Amazon or Amazon affiliate is selling it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm about the convenience of it. That's all. The plain reason absolutely.
I use it.
And I'm about that too. But like I was saying earlier, we have become a society of immediacy. We become a society of even when you click something and the computer doesn't go within like 5 seconds. Take a look and see if people aren't pounding a mouse.
Yeah.
Come on, go. Let's go. And it's the cooling threshold. They talk about it in one of Amy and I's favorite shows, Halt and Catch Fire. They literally programmed that into us way back when computers started coming about everywhere.
That's a good show.
Was the fact of if within 30 milliseconds the computer doesn't do what you're asking it to, the human brain loses interest. Which is where the dopamine response of screens comes from, the dopamine response of buy now.
Yeah.
The immediate fix. Buy now, you don't even have to go through 3 steps anymore to confirm the purchase. You hit the buy now button, it's bought.
Yeah. No, I had a survey I was asked to fill out the other day, and it was for the simple task of getting a copy of my insurance card. Mm-hmm. I was like, why do I need to go through 3 or 4 different screens to get my insurance card? When I log in, the only reason I'm logging in is either to pay you or get a copy of my insurance card. Why am I having to go through 4 or 5 different screens
of verification
to get to this? Oh, there's my insurance card.
Yeah.
I just want my insurance card.
Yeah.
I want a button on my home screen after I give you my login credentials. Print your insurance card.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only reason I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't need to go through different policy options and different this and that and the other. I'm here to either pay my bill or get a copy of my insurance card.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
precisely.
pretty much it.
Precisely. And, even yesterday on our way over here, Austin Utilities called me up to do a survey, and I'm a helpful guy. Sure, I'll give you a survey on Austin Utilities. And it was the most inefficient thing in the world.
All the time about privacy, and then he tells this stranger on the phone his whole life story.
Absolutely nothing.
Out of here.
Absolutely nothing. I told him.
Oh, it's the exact same thing as I'm pissed about you right now. Oh. You say one thing and you do the exact opposite.
Yeah, okay.
My life story.
It's not what happened. I gave him my name, which he addressed me for. Black child. Exactly. So, the immediacy of things is the issue that we have to deal with in America. The fact that we need to learn to be patient again. We need to learn to sit back and not let consumerism drive everything through the wall.
Right.
Not teach our children the want, gimme of things, and learn to appreciate what we have. Learn to appreciate the great place that we live in, the awesome things that we get to do all the time. On that note, everybody, while you're online checking out articles about Amazon, checking out articles about big box stores, checking all that stuff out, make sure to stop on by the Dudes and Beer Podcast. Dudesandbeerpodcast.com is the website. There you can find all of the news on dudesandbeer.com/news. You can find the Knowledge Vault at dudesandbeer/knowledge. That's where you can find all the declassified government documents, things like that. Great information in there. In addition to that, make sure to stop on by and check out the Yes But Why podcast, yesbutwhypodcast.com, as well as all the great stuff on the H2 Universal Network, from Scary Dad to Therapy Hour with Rusty Lozano, Gray Matters, John Bound Politics, Blah Blah Show, all kinds of great material on there. Feel free to stop on by, download our free app, and stop on by Patreon. Check us out, Patreon/HC Universal Network. If you like the podcast that we're putting out, if you like what we're putting out, feel free to stop on by, give us a buck, whatever.
Chuck in a buck.
Yeah. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, if you can't be good, be good at it. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dudes and Beer Podcast. To listen to our audio streams or chat with us live, download the official Dudes and Beer app for Android and iDevices, available on Google Play and iTunes markets. For more episodes, content, and information, visit us online at dudesandbeer.com. You can also find our episodes on Breach.tv, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the HC Universal Network family of podcasts. For more about our sponsors and other podcasts on this network, visit hcuniversalnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.